everything was just flat, like just wood everywhere, and it looked like there was a nuclear bomb just hit that back neighborhood. And you know, you look around and you like think of all the houses that were there, and you see pieces of houses 4 doors down, and it's something that you can't really see in a picture and know what it's like. And I think that's why it sets in my mind so much.
It was coming through the neighborhood, and it was just a big black wall eating up everything in front of it. And at that point, it was an obvious threat. So I ran downstairs as fast as I could, and got to the closet. And somewhere about there, the electricity went out, and the dog took off. And I knew I didn't have time to go get the dog. But I called for him. He came back. I grabbed hold of his collar, pulled him into the closet, shut the door. And not 5 seconds later, you start hearing the debris hit the house. Just a little bit at first, you know, tick, 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 tick. It got faster and faster, and then just heard the house just wipe away from the foundation. And my wife asked me, she goes, "What was that?" Because they hadn't really seen what was coming. And I told her, I go, "That was our house. It's gone."
You know, your immediate concern is, you know, the friends and family and the people that you know that were in the path of it. You know, that was, you know, your first gut instinct. So I left the home immediately to go look for you know, people that we knew. And I actually sent a text to my wife right before I left that said, I'm near the city, it looks bad, go to my mom and dad's and I'll call you. And that was the last that she heard from me for several hours, because I couldn't call and I couldn't text. So she was obviously very alarmed about that. I'm sure, you know, she was trying to get in touch with Alec. We were going to be watching his game on television, and you know, that, you know, I guess my mind kind of completely changed and went on path to whoever I could go and find, and she was trying to get in touch with him. So it was just chaos. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it.
We had many people affected. It missed, I was very fortunate, it missed my house by about a half a mile. But got back to town and started, you know, on foot trying to get to people that we knew and try to help people and make sure everybody was okay. Just the fact that you were finding people that were trapped in their basements, those kind of things, was just, it was something in hours that you'll never forget. I can't even imagine what those people felt like.
We get back to the locker room, obviously everybody's down, everybody's quiet. We get done with the post-game talk, and I'm, you know, changing my clothes, getting ready to head to the bus, and the coaches are all rushing at me, or they have a phone in their hand saying, "Hey, it's your mom on the other line." They have a concerned look on their face, so immediately, like, I'm thinking someone died, you know, something happened to my dad, something happened, and they take me out of the hallway. I talked to my mom, and she had told me what happened, and I just sank right to the floor.
You know, the first reaction is we were all, you know, stunned that anything was happening, you know, during the game. Immediately we had all of our players from Illinois get their phones and call their families and make sure everybody was okay, and that was our initial reaction, just to make sure everyone was okay. You know, when something like that happens, the game is irrelevant, and whether you won or lost is irrelevant. You just want everybody that you love and that you know to be healthy and safe.
I was born and raised here. I've been here my whole life, and you know, Alec had as well too for 17 of his years, 18 of his years, and I think there's that sense when you've been in one place that long of you know, responsibility and really caring about people. All of his friends that he knew since, you know, he was in grade school and high school that would have possibly been affected. I think there's a lot of emotions that ran through his mind, and I think that, you know, that could go either way in terms of his outlook on his season and where his thoughts would have been at that point. And I definitely think it was a turning point for him in the positive, in that, you know, every freshman that's there to play is just hoping to play, and he was already getting that opportunity. So this kind of gave him a new inspiration and a new lift to play for something, you know, to something bigger than just, you know, his own time or his own name or his own minutes. More than Valpo, it was, you know, it's about, you know, people that watched him play basketball growing up from the time he was in grade school all the way through his high school. People that stop us daily in grocery stores and places to ask about him. Those were the people that he wanted to come back to see, and those are the people that from that point on I think he was playing for.
There's so many people here that have helped made me who I am, you know, from football coaches from when I was in high school to people that, you know, I wouldn't know if it weren't for my mom and dad. It's just, that connection that I have with the people here, this town, you know, growing up here, it was easy to just say that I was going to come home and see how everybody was doing. You know, obviously my mom had told me the situation of our closest friends, and I wanted to see them most of all, and, you know, and help out any way I could.
Life is more important than basketball, and just knowing how close he is to this community and what he means to this community in Washington, it was a very easy decision. He needed to go home and needed to be with family and friends and help out in any way that he could.
Alec, you know, in that situation of what he needed to do on that, I'm sure that day and those immediate days after, one of the toughest things was probably being in a situation where he couldn't get back here right away. And you know, I think that finding that time of when he could get here, I think just to feel a sense, he's a kid that's got a huge heart. A lot of times wears his heart right on his sleeve, and with those emotions. And I think those were probably his toughest times.
Ever since the storm, we were looking for some way that we could come back and you know, help his community in some type of work, and this came up over the summer, which is a perfect time where we have more time to be able to get out and help. And it's been a great day. We're able to build a swing set, and we're going to get to deliver it today. So it should be a great moment for Alec and for our team to be able to do this all together.
To see Alec come down here with his teammates is, you know, as a coach, as his high school coach, it makes you feel like he's in the right place, and that everybody cares about what's going on here.
Well, ever since the tornado happened on last November, my mom, Coach Powell, all the coaches have been constantly, you know, when the season's over, we want to do whatever we can to help out. We want to do as much as we can, you know, whether it's a food drive, come, you know, pick up stuff, anything we can, you know, after the season, because obviously we're busy during. And they were willing to, you know, sacrifice a day. We could have been in the gym working out today. We could have been lifting. We could have been doing all this stuff to get better at basketball. But our coaches preach more than basketball. And I know my teammates are big into supporting each other. And I know once the opportunity arose for everybody to come here, that they were 110% behind it. You know, we brag all the time with each other. You know, who came from, you know, the best high school, you know, who had the best high school team, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I've been to Chicago before, but now that all the Chicago kids and everywhere else can come see where I'm from, and they come driving up in the charter bus and looking at all the cornfields, and they're kind of scratching their heads thinking this is actually a place on earth. But, you know, it's been great. My teammates have been very supportive, you know, even when it happened. And now that we have a new team, I think that we're all behind each other, and that really shows out here.